Hello everyone, this is Asad Mahmood and you're watching The Common Ground. The biggest news of the last week was banning by UAE of its own students from attending British universities due to the fear of radicalization at the hands of activists of Muslim Brotherhood. Now you can imagine UAE as a Muslim country is fearful of the radicalization that is happening on the campuses of British universities. And according to some Emirati analysts, this includes Irish universities. I will show you the tweets of those analysts as well. So according to UAE, there is extreme kind of radicalization happening on the British and Irish university campuses, and no one is doing anything about that. I want to quote my own example. When I came here in Ireland, I am a very moderate Muslim. I'm not a violent Muslim. I don't believe in violent kind of jihadist activism. But once I went to attend a mosque in Cork City, and there was an imam. He was doing a sermon on the pulpit of the mosque. He was talking about all sorts of things, but my mind got attentive when he said, "You are fewer in number, and you have to increase your numbers in order to dominate and take over." So that is what he was preaching, and that was happening in Cork City. And it was 5, 6 years ago when I attended that mosque. I'm not a very good Muslim. I'm not a very regular mosque goer or anything. I'm just an ordinary, simple Muslim who doesn't believe in violence. I want to integrate in the society. I want to assimilate with Western people. I love their culture. I want to live in a free culture. I don't want to live in a culture where you are forced to do things. So I would prefer a Western culture rather than an Islamic culture for myself. In the Western countries, they provide a culture of freedom that is free for everybody. You have a choice in these countries. You have a will and you have a choice. If you want to be religious, you can become a religious person. If you want to be a non religious person, you have all sorts of freedom for yourself if you want to be a non religious person. So there is a choice in Western countries that is not available to you in Muslim countries. And if we talk about freedom of religion is available to the utmost level to Muslims. May it be Sunni Muslims, Shia Muslims, or Ahmadi Muslims. All kind of Muslims can live freely and enjoy their religious life according to their own religious belief only in the Western country. Ahmadis are considered to be non-Muslims in Pakistan. If they go to Pakistan, they will be considered non-Muslim and they cannot enjoy their religious freedom in Pakistan because constitutionally they are considered to be non-Muslim. So the religious freedom the Muslims from all religious school of thought can enjoy here in the West, they can never enjoy in their own respective Muslim countries. And the problem of Muslim Brotherhood is that Muslim Brotherhood doesn't consider Muslim countries to be Muslim enough. They say that Muslim countries don't have the proper implementation of Sharia or proper form of Islam in their countries. And they want to change those countries and bring the actual fundamentalist form of Islam into those countries. That is why they consider UAE and Saudi rulers to be non-Muslim or kafir or non-believers. And all of these countries are Muslim countries, but according to Muslim Brotherhood, they're not Muslim enough. In the same way, Western countries are not Muslim at all, so they have the mission to convert all the Western countries into Muslim countries. They want to bring Islam as a state religion. They want to rule these countries with the power of Islam. My question is, when you are seeking religious freedom, you are seeking the freedom to worship your own God in a foreign country. And if that is the religious freedom you are seeking, and if you want to build your own temples, mosques, or any of such worship place where you will go and worship your own God according to your own rituals or religious beliefs, then this freedom is available to every religious class. They can be Muslim, they can be non Muslim, they can be Hindus, Sikhs, all of the religious classes can live peacefully and they can enjoy their religious freedom according to their own religious beliefs. If that is the religious freedom Muslims are seeking, then that is available to them in Western countries. There is no issue. But when you go out of the ambit of religion and you try to take over the whole country on the basis of religion, and you want to run the whole country on the basis of religion, then it becomes a political struggle. For example, Hindu, if they start to demand tomorrow that they would want to run the whole UK on the basis of Hinduism and they want to take over and bring Hinduism as a state religion, then this will be a political struggle, not religious freedom. So when Islam or Muslim Brotherhood or any people who are linked with Muslim Brotherhood, they are seeking the Islamic domination in the Western countries. Basically, they are going into political realm. When you go into political realm, then definitely you will call for all sorts of criticism on it. But the problem of Islam is that when Islam is criticized, or Muslims are criticized who are involved in this kind of political activism, then they go back into their religious domain and they say that, oh, we are a religion and don't criticize us, and this is Islamophobia. No, you are going out of the ambit of religious boundaries and then you are seeking the political domination. And in the same way, when Muslims demand that Sharia law should be implemented, if non Muslims are objecting to any of the Sharia punishment, then definitely Muslims will become aggressive and say that, oh, this is a religious matter and no one is allowed to talk about that. So coming back to the subject of Muslim Brotherhood. Muslim Brotherhood was founded in Egypt in 1928 by Hassan al-Banna. Hassan al-Banna was not very extremist in his approach. He was fundamentalist. He wanted to Islamize all the countries, but his approach was gradual. He was the person who wanted to Islamize the country through NGOs, through social work, through mosques, through schooling system, through universities. So his approach was very gradual. Muslim Brotherhood expanded massively between the times of 1930s and 1940s. And during that time, there were many people who joined Muslim Brotherhood and they brought very extremist and different kind of ideas into Muslim Brotherhood's basic ideology, which was a gradual progression in the country. So then there came out two groups during that time. One was reformist and one was extremist. Reformist wanted to do the gradual progression of Islam, whereas the extremists were willing to do the militant growth and they wanted to progress Islam on the military basis. In 1940s, when Muslim Brotherhood expanded, they got also involved in the assassination of then Egyptian Prime Minister Mahmoud al-Nukrishi, who was assassinated in 1948, and they were also involved in the assassination of their own founder Hassan al-Banna in 1949. Then another person, another leader joined Muslim Brotherhood. His name was Sayyid Qutb. Sayyid Qutb was radical Islamist and extremist person. He introduced those ideas into Muslim Brotherhood, which became the basis of inception of many of the violent, militant Muslim extremist organizations like ISIS and Hamas and others as well. So the concept he introduced, according to him, Jahiliyyah are ignorant. According to him, all the modern societies were ignorant societies. They were not living according to the Islamic system. And he didn't differentiate between Muslim and non-Muslim societies. So according to him, all the modern societies were ignorant societies. And then second concept he said, takfir or denial of the authority of the rulers of these Muslim societies or non-Muslim societies. So according to him, modern societies were ignorant societies living in non-Islamic way and their rulers, they have no authority. That was the second concept, denial of the authority. Then the third concept was that rulership or kingdom only belong to Allah, sovereignty only belong to Allah, and people have no say in it. That was the third concept. And the fourth concept, according to him, to implement Islam, jihad was the only way forward. Jihad meant as a revolutionary, militant, violent struggle, according to Sayyid Qutb. So he introduced jihad as the only solution for the implementation of Islam and Sharia. These ideas became the basis of inception of many of the Muslim militant groups. Purpose of telling all of this is that a moderate Muslim like me, who has come into a foreign country or Western country, to settle in this country or live in this country. I am not seeking domination of Sharia or Islam or anything. I am a common Muslim. I am here. I just want to live by my religion and I have the freedom for that. But when a Muslim like me goes to a mosque or attends a university, and then in the mosque there is an imam who is telling the person that, oh, you have to increase your numbers in order to dominate, and you have to take over this country, and you have to hate these people because these people are non Muslims. When he listens to all of this, then they get radicalized. Any person who is coming on the campuses of any university or who is coming on the pulpit of a mosque, and he's preaching to vulnerable ordinary Muslim students and mosque goers or mosque attendees that they have to hate non-believers, then according to me, he is a extremist Muslim, and that is what UAE is saying. UAE is clearly saying that the indoctrination happening in British universities and in Irish universities is too much, and Western countries should look into it and they should try to ban Muslim Brotherhood. UAE has demanded that many times, and I think Western countries should wake up and do something about it. I will show you a video where a leader of Muslim Brotherhood is trying to influence the students of a university, and he's telling his whole plan. Their plan is not 1 day, 2 day plan, or 10 years plan. Their plan is generational plan. They want to influence the current generation to get the results in the future. Let's listen to that video, and I will show you the tweets of those Emirati analysts who say that the Irish universities are also part of this dossier. Let me show you the tweets and the videos, and then we end the video.
Before I finished high school and came to this country to study, and here I joined the Muslim Student Society, which until the 7th of October, Europeans, Christian Europeans, always had a problem with the Jews. They hated the Jews. We feel all threatened by the evil that is perpetrated by these imperialists. To link up with others, whether in America or in Africa or in Asia or here in Europe, we need to, for this probably to become a global movement. The young people of today are the ones who are going to make a difference. That's why decision makers in various Western capitals are horrified. They're terrified. They see these young men and women on university campuses challenging them, and then they think to themselves, well, in a few years' time, these are going to be the leaders. These are going to be the decision makers. So probably today, you are active in this encampment here. In a few years' time, you will be somewhere in one of the important departments of government, or I don't know where. Maybe this in a decision-making capacity. It is going to happen. Just tell you a story about this. A former government minister in this country once invited me and a group of people to meet him in his office, and I reminded him that he was one of the students, and you see, later on he became a Secretary of State in this country. But forget about the two-state solution. Two-state solution is a silly idea. Resistance. There was violent resistance, and it is a legitimate right to resist. It's not terrorism. A future generation of university authorities around the world will have a different opinion. I think your movement is the beginning of that change. Hopefully, one day we will see an end to all such investments.
You can see that this person is saying, this leader who is linked with Muslim Brotherhood, he's clearly saying that two-state solution is not a viable solution, and that violent kind of resistance is required. It's not terrorism. He's saying that it's not terrorism to act militarily, and it's a resistance, and it is legitimate. This is how he's influencing the mind of these vulnerable students who are just there to complete their studies to become a constructive part of the society. But when they hear these kind of leaders telling them to do extremist, terroristic kind of resistance, then what do you think? What would be the outcome of that? So, if you're not going to save your current generation, if you're not going to save them today, then definitely you will have a different country tomorrow. And you have to act now. You have to act soon to save your current generation. UAE has given you the ultimatum, and they have given you the playbook how to do that. They have banned Muslim Brotherhood, and then I think that should be done here as well. I will show you the tweets where they are also saying that Ireland is also part of this dossier. So this is a tweet by Amjad Taha. He's saying that it is not just the UK, it is Ireland too, and the UAE will not send its students to become hostages of Islamist jihadist ideology disguised as campus activism. Education is meant to free the mind, not imprison it inside hatred. and intimidation and fear. Universities were built to sharpen thought, not to dull conscience. Yet across British and Irish campuses, Muslim Brotherhood networks have turned lectures hall into echo chambers of extremism, where anti-Semitism is normalized and violence is intellectually laundered as resistance. When knowledge is hijacked, wisdom walks out. You heard the leader, what he was saying. He was talking about resistance, he was talking about violent resistance. So, whatever we are hearing currently, there are many videos that are coming from Western countries where imams who are considered to be very respected and reverend persons in the Muslim community, they are calling for hatred to Jews, hatred to Christians, they are calling for takeover, they are calling for domination and these kind of things. They are clearly saying that we are here to not integrate but to dominate and to take over. There are many videos you can see that. I think it is very much important that there should be something done. Western countries have to enact such kind of laws to deal with such kind of religious hate that has been preached in the mosque or in the universities or in the social setup and the NGOs or wherever they have the access to the people, wherever these radicals are trying to change the mind of ordinary peace loving Muslims and making them or turning them into extremist jihadist hate mongers. I think Western countries have to look into all of those places. This is another video where this Amjad Taha person is talking about Muslim Brotherhood and the core ideology of Muslim Brotherhood.
ISIS, yes. Where's ISIS came from? Where did it start? Where did it start? It started from the manifest of the Muslim Brotherhood, which we, UAE, proudly banned it. Egypt banned it. Bahrain banned it. Saudi Arabia banned it. We banned it. We're Muslim. We are Muslim countries. We banned the Muslim Brotherhood. You go in the United Kingdom, you find the charity for them. They send all the money Islamic Relief sends us all the way so the to UAE. Hamas. Why would the West? Because when the West see it. Before I finish about the activists, those activists are 1,000 miles away from the Middle East. They don't understand. We understand. And when we speak, you listen to us. Why? Because we are from the Middle East. We feel the pain. We feel everything. And we're trying to develop. We're trying to put things. We're trying to put the hope. We're trying to be the AI. The oil. We're trying to compete on AI, which is the oil of the future, which we're going to be the head of it. We create an ambition for the next generation. We reached Mars. We made scientists. We sent them all the way to the universities outside. They learned, they came, we went to the Mars, we reached it. Our foundation side thought of it, dreamt of it. And the sons, they made it. We make it happen.
And then there's another Emirati analyst who is saying almost the same thing, but just listen to him and then I will show you a few important things that according to these people, the rulers of UAE are non-Muslims or kafir or they're puppets of non-Muslims or something like that. And according to the same kind of people, system in Pakistan is un-Islamic. So I just want to show you quickly those things and then I would just end this video.
So the UAE has recently restricted government funding for students going to certain UK universities, and I'm not shocked. When I was growing up, the UK was a gold standard for higher education. If you were in Malati, British universities were the dream. But what changed isn't education, what changed is the political environment around it. A lot of people in the West still don't understand how political Islamist networks work, especially groups linked to the Muslim Brotherhood. They don't come in with guns, they come in through mosques, student societies, charities, and campus groups. They frame ideology as identity, and over time, space becomes radicalized. The Middle East learned this the hard way. We paid for it with terrorism, instability, and civil wars. So when the UAE tightens where it sends public money, it's not anti-education, it's national security. It's a message that says we will invest in our people, but we won't subsidize environments that allow extremism to grow. And honestly, it's not really controversial. That's what a serious state does.
He has very clearly explained how the environment become radicalized and how students are being indoctrinated and they're against that. They're clearly against that. Now I just want to show you a tweet where Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, who is the president of the UAE, is being praised. And then there are extremist Muslims underneath. They are commenting and hating on him. Let me show you the tweet. This is the tweet. Our leader, Mohammed bin Zayed, the president of the UAE, is the one whom the Muslim Brotherhood terrorists and radical groups fear. That is the only tweet. It's nothing special, but you see people hating on him. This is a Sudan lover guy, probably some extremist Muslim. Your MBZ is nothing but Israel in the Middle East, and KSA will put him in his place soon. This is another one. He's the ultimate devil in human form, etc., etc. So these kind of comments from extremist Muslim, you can see that. In the same way, if we talk about Pakistan, Pakistan is a Muslim country, and they are suffering with terrorism for a long time. On the same basis, where Taliban claim that Pakistan is not properly Islamic country. So there is no end to this extremism. Pakistan is a Muslim country, but according to extremist Muslim, it is not Muslim enough. For example, Pakistani Taliban claims responsibility for the deadly terror attack in Islamabad, and they narrated the reason in the news. This news is very recent. This news came on 11th of November 2025. So it's like some months ago. And what they are saying, why did they do that? The attack was claimed by the Pakistan Taliban, known as Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, and they are saying that judges, liars, and officials who carried out rulings under Pakistan's un-Islamic laws were targeted. So that is what they believe, that Pakistan is un-Islamic. Whereas if you look at the image of Pakistan, Pakistan's image is that there are many extremist radical Muslims living in Pakistan who will lynch anyone on the mere allegation of blasphemy. And they try to implement Sharia laws wherever they can. They are doing their best, but still, this country, Muslim country, is considered to be not Muslim enough by Taliban or extremist Muslims. So, my point is that there is no end to this. Even if you convert the whole Britain and whole Ireland into a Muslim country, even then this will not be enough for these people. They will always say that, oh, this country is not Muslim enough, and there is no end to it. I think Western countries have to look into these matters seriously, and appropriate laws which are dealing with religious hate of any sort should be made to tackle this religious extremism. This religious extremism will never end well for anyone, not even for Western countries, not even for Muslim countries, not for anyone. Thank you very much. That was all for today, and I will see you in the next video.